Okay, we are now officially recording, folks. So again, welcome everybody. We are excited to be celebrating the Lyme Disease Resource Center's 10th anniversary this evening. And my name's Nellie Wilson. I am a board member and have been volunteering since about 2016 with the center. And we are going to have an evening of getting to hear from Maria, who's our executive director and founder. And she will be sharing the history of how we got here and looking towards the future a little bit. You'll get to hear from some of us board members, and there'll be an opportunity for volunteers and anyone who wishes to just take a little bit of time to share any appreciations they have for the Lyme Disease Resource Center. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Maria. And as we have people that might continue to join in, I'll just go ahead and let them into the meeting.
So bear with me for a minute while I get my screen share going.
Yeah.
There we go. So, as you know, we're the Lyme Disease Resource Center, and we started in 2013. And my computer is taking off on its own. When we started, we had an idea to offer services, support groups, peer counseling, holistic therapies, education, and outreach. We want to be a peer-guided, supportive, and safe place for those living with Lyme disease, their care partners, and we share strategies and resources for living well. Way back in the beginning, I was bitten by a tick in '97. And back then, there weren't any good treatments. There wasn't any good diagnosis. I didn't realize I was sick. And over the course of a year, I became more ill. And it took quite some time to find treatment and doctors and support for what I was going through. I lost my job. I lost all my money, paying out of pocket for different healing modalities. I didn't know what I was going to do. And ended up over the years gathering information, including how to get on disability, how to get back to work when you're on disability. And with a really good team of doctors, I was able to find remission for about 5 years. I started a at-home business doing graphic arts and was very successful and decided to move to Northampton. And the move itself really made me relapse again. And I found that I was helping people, telling them, how I got healthy again, where I go for treatment when I relapsed, how to get Social Security. And it cut into my work. And I found that my very successful graphics business was failing. And how I got back to work at the beginning was with the Massachusetts Rehabilitation Commission. So I went back to them and I said, I really want to help people with Lyme disease, but I don't know what to do. And went to some support groups in Northampton and heard about a place called the Cancer Connection that helps people find ways to find healing with cancer and also provides a nice, safe place for people to come to. I thought, oh, if there was only a place like that for Lyme patients. So I brought that to Massachusetts Rehabilitation Commission, and they sent me down to a place called New England Business Associates that also helps disabled people get back to work. And I met Colleen Moynihan, and talking with her, I said, I don't know how to help people. Maybe I should go back and get my degree in social work. But that didn't seem broad enough. And Colleen said, why don't you start a nonprofit? And I thought at the time, this is crazy. I don't have any money. I don't have any skills. But Colleen helped guide me, my business plan, where to go back to school, and really give a good foundation for starting a nonprofit. And so I got my certificate in nonprofit management. I gathered some friends together and we sat around a kitchen table thinking about how we wanted to look the business to look. And we took the Cancer Connection as a business model and started from there. In July of 2014, we heard from the IRS that our application to be a 501c3 was successful, and it backdated to October 22nd of 2013. So we were well on our way to establishing ourselves as an official corporation and nonprofit organization. There was a lot of paperwork. There was a lot of talking with the state, talking with the local government, making sure we had paperwork filled out. So this was all before any action could be taken to support Lyme patients. Finally, in 2015, we were able to open our doors on King Street with a small office. And getting from having just support groups a few times a month into the office and actually starting to expand our programming took quite some time, but had wonderful volunteers supporting us in the beginning. And one of the founders of our holistic program, who was not able to make it tonight, Paula Barron, donated some equipment, and we were able to launch one of my favorite programs, the holistic program, offering free services to our clients. Then COVID hit. 2020, no one expected. And here we are on Zoom, and this is what I think of Zoom. It's like a modern seance, because we're all, can you hear us? Can you see us? Is everything going okay? and there's always technical hiccups. But it allowed us to move forward. And even though our physical office closed, we were able to navigate the change. Um, we added our Zoom programming. And although the holistic program shrank, we started offering some holistic options. And some of you are here tonight. Thank you for your help. um, Learning to use Zoom, being in a totally different environment, going from having face-to-face local support. It was a huge leap for us. It's taken quite a while to get comfortable with this format. And we were really glad that we were still able to function, because at this point, from 2020 to 2023, we weren't able to open the office to the public. It just wasn't safe enough. And we did have wonderful supportive landlord who offered us over 9 months worth of free rent. Well, we decided what we were going to do. Now we've decided, we had moved out of the office in March to go virtual. We've started getting clients from all over the United States. And it's been awesome to be able to help so many more people. This is our board right now. I'm still in the position of president because we lost quite a few volunteers and board members during COVID, but I'm so grateful for Nellie and Krista and Pat and Allison for stepping up and joining the board and helping in this rebuilding phase as we're growing. We've added some new volunteers, some of who are here tonight, and it's an exciting time because we're shifting from this hyper local, very intimate organization to a place that can connect so far across the United States and help so many more people. Trying to find new ways to connect with people. We've added our educational programming back in. We have a list of speakers coming up now until the spring. And we'll be doing even more as more volunteers and more board members join us. And for those of you who don't already, you can help volunteering. We have all kinds of projects from small to large. Joining the board is always an option, and help create more programming and more offerings for the center and support the mission, or donating any amount to the Lyme Center is always a good support for us. And we're hoping right now that we're all virtual to move towards being in an office again, but still having this virtual component so we can reach so many more people and continue to help people who are either homebound or too far away to join local programming. So the vision for the future is definitely looking forward to growing. And I'm so grateful for those of you who have stayed with us through the difficult times and for the new faces that I see, that the sky's the limit for what we can do. So thank you all.
Thank you so much, Maria, for sharing the history of how you got the Lyme Disease Resource Center started, and for sharing a bit about looking forward to the future. I know I myself am very excited to be part of this journey and helping the center grow. So Maria had mentioned donating. I wanted to just put in a little plug. We've had a fundraiser going on for the month of October in the honor of our 10th anniversary. If you haven't given already, again, any amount helps. You can go to our website, Lyme, LYMEDRC.org, and you can click on that donate button. It's really appreciated. And we also really encourage folks to share about the Lyme Disease Resource Center with your community, with your friends, with your family, just to get the word out there. And at this point, I would love to, I'd love to take a little bit of time. I know we don't have all the board members here, but I would like to invite Allison, if you wanna just kind of jump in, and if there's anything you'd like to add as a board member.
Sure thing, Nellie. Maria, I just wanted to say thank you for the great presentation. I thought that was quite lovely. Hi, everyone. My name is Allison Wisher. I joined the board earlier this year in April. I'm particularly excited about the work that the LDRC does. I have a history of post-treatment Lyme disease syndrome, so I understand the importance of the mission of the LDRC, and that's why it's really resonated with me. I'm fortunate in a point in my life where I feel quite healthy, knock on wood. So I'm really excited to kind of use some of that energy to give back to a cause that means so much to me personally. So I'm just very excited to be part of the board and looking forward to its growth.
Wonderful. Thank you, Allison. It's been a real pleasure to get to work with you and with the other board members in making things happen. Maria has been doing so much work, and a lot of the stuff that happens behind the scenes is really due to the hard work of Maria. And I know that she's very modest, but like this this organization would not exist without you. And so I really just want to take a moment to really appreciate how much you have put into this organization, and how much care and attention and generosity you offer to clients and to our community. It's really incredible to see how much care you give to so many people just on an individual basis. For those of you that don't know, Maria runs the Saturday support group. She facilitates that group. She fields phone calls all the time. There's people calling in from all over looking for support, looking for help. And she also does peer support sessions. We've recently developed our peer support program, gotten that kind of back up and running. So we have some more volunteers on board. Mal is one of the people that has joined us for that. We really appreciate it. And you know, but like I just really want to take a moment to honor and appreciate Maria. I don't know if we want to all like,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So given that we've kind of got a smaller group of people here this evening than you know, it always happens, right? We got a lot of people that register for stuff and then life pops up and gets in the way. Our support groups, we often have this happen where like we've got a whole bunch of people that register and then we've, you know, got a handful of people that actually show up. So I also really want to just appreciate, first of all, the people who have shown up this evening. It's really lovely to see you. And I would love to invite people to feel free to unmute yourself. And if you would like to share any appreciation or reflections, experiences you've had working with the Lyme Disease Resource Center, we really welcome your voice. You can raise your hand or wave or just go ahead and unmute yourself. Yeah, Joyce.
Hello, everyone. I'm Maria's mom, and she invited me to see this, and I've been living through this with her for several years. And I just want to say she's remarkable, of course, coming from a mom, probably a little prejudiced, but besides what she's doing for this, she's my caregiver. And I'm independently living, but I've had a lot of medical issues. And she takes time to come to Plymouth and then go to Boston with me to my doctors. And she's been back and forth, and I know it's a stretch. And I was able to drive until recently out there to be with her, but I'm no longer driving that far, the traffic and all. So I just want to share my love and appreciation to my daughter, and I'm proud.
Thank you, Mom.
Yeah. Thank you. And well, you should be proud, right? You're awesome.
I'm gonna blush now.
Good. Would anyone else like to jump in and share?
Lisa, you were a longtime volunteer for us and a wonderful volunteer.
Thank you. Well, I really got involved. I do have Lyme disease. I have some long-term symptoms, and honestly felt like I had to live with them for the rest of my life. And I heard that this program was going on that was similar to the Cancer Connection, where people could volunteer who are practitioners. And I was training to be a practitioner and needed something like 400 hours of volunteer time. And so I came in every week for over a year. I think it was a year and a half, something like that. And then it was slower. But I really started it for selfish reasons because I needed my hours. But I just had such a rich experience getting to know Maria in the center and also exchanging with the other practitioners, and really getting some depth of insight into my own situation, and also my family members, you know, who also have had Lyme disease and have different manifestations than I do. And I have to say, I went through a treatment myself that Maria recommended. I just finished it over a year. And I became active again in life. And I used to walk and play tennis, and I was very, very active, even when my kids were little. but Lyme disease cut that short. And so I am active again, playing pickleball and doing all this great stuff. I do have relapses and, you know, I still struggle. And so do my family members at times, but we're, you know, whenever I'm really frustrated, you know, I can call people and call Maria, and she's just so caring and listen, you know, what a good listener you are, Maria.
Thank you.
And thank you for everything.
Thank you, Lisa. Having you at the center was wonderful. And it was a special time back then because we had so many practitioners, and we're growing that program and hope to grow it again.
Nice.
So I thank you for the time that you gave to us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you for that opportunity. And by the way, it's so great to see Joyce. You're looking really good, Joyce.
Marianne, you want to jump in and share?
Yes, and I figured out how to turn off my mute.
Yay!
So I just wanted to say that I started, when I got Lyme, I had no idea what to do. And I just am so impressed by what LDRC does. It just helps people who just don't know what to do with that information. It's like a lifeline. It was for me anyway, back in, I don't remember when, I think 2013, it was so long ago. And it just provided me with, it opened doors to the resources where I could figure out what to do, even when as I had Lyme. At the cognitive function level, of course, if you're an academic, that's what you get is Lyme in your head. And just really saved my life, Maria. And so I feel so lucky now, even though COVID kind of put a dent in our relationship, to be able to give back as a practitioner, because as we all know, it's not just the physical aspects of Lyme, it's an emotional experience as well. So to be able to help through tapping, bring down some of that anxiety and stress, because we have a lot of physical stuff to deal with, is, I think, like Allison said, just a way to give back. So thank you for that opportunity.
And we're so grateful that you were able to stay with us via Zoom.
Yep, that I was surprised how well the work that I do holistically translated to Zoom, but it did just fine. So I'm so glad to hear through this, Nellie and Maria, how international you're becoming. And that's wonderful. And probably being able to make connections with other organizations, to other groups of Lyme people. And the last thing I'll say is recently I was in Med Express, it's a little, when things happen on the weekend and holidays, that's where I go. And we were talking about, I talked with the doctor about Lyme. I think that would be a terrific place for us to get our information out, because the doc there was really interested in the Lyme Disease Resource Center, because they get a lot of people in with the ticks and worried and what do I do? And they provide that, short-term care, but they don't have the full information about, or a resource to kind of give people. But I filled them up with it. But I think
Thank you.
there's a lot of Med Expresses around there that would be open to it.
That's a great idea. Thank you, Marianne.
And that's one of the things that we love so much about the people that have been volunteering and connecting with us for such a long time, is that like we get so many ideas and you know, programs launch because we get somebody who's enthusiastic about helping in a particular way. So it's really appreciated. And the work you have been doing, Marianne, for so many years with the LDRC and being part of the holistic therapies program, we so appreciate your involvement with us. Anyone
Thank you,
else
Marianne.
wanna jump in? Mal, yeah.
Yeah, hi, I'm Mal, and I'm a newer volunteer, but a peer counselor, and have just really been so grateful for how welcome I felt in this group and community, and just really feeling like it's a gift to be able to interact with a resource that you wish you would have had when you were younger, or that I wish I had when I was younger, and to act in a peer capacity just kind of emphasizes that experience. I think having Lyme as an enduring presence in life can be really isolating, and it can be very siloing, and you feel like you're only in relation to that experience, and being part of a community like this keeps us in relation to much more than that, and in relation to healing as well as the experiences of Lyme and other chronic illness. And I just feel so grateful to know that this is here, and it's so sustaining and fulfilling to be able to refer people back here and to put people back into relation to more of life. So thank you so much, really.
Thank you. And thank you so much for volunteering.
Marcy, I'm not sure if would you like to say something? Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously I'm not a volunteer. But I've known Maria. It's funny, I had to go back and look at my email because we were in a support group together that was called Lyme Wellness. I still have that folder. I don't know why I haven't deleted it all, but I hoard stuff like that. But anyway, Maria, her story coincides with that time because she was talking to us about this idea, and it just seemed so daunting to me. So, it took the first email I have from you that's stashed in that folder is from 2009. I don't, and it might have been, I don't remember, I may not have been saving stuff before that, but incidentally, that email to the group was a whole bunch of links. What a surprise. Maria likes to send out lists of links. And some of them are still actually really good resources. So they were for low and no cost, treatments and modalities and the such. So hats off to you for actually getting it off the ground and it now reaching its 10th year, because I just thought the whole thing sounded so daunting, and as much as I wanted to help you, I was so busy. Well, not only getting treated myself, but also because we were building a food co-op that I was involved with for 15 years and my co-housing community. But so anyway, at some point, maybe I'll volunteer, but I'm glad that the resources are here and that they're able to reach a larger audience now.
And Marcy, you've always been a good source for resources.
Right, but I never compile them in organized lists and send them to people. That's more your thing.
But I know I can always pick your brains if I have an obscure question. You've just got such a wealth of knowledge, so I appreciate that.
I'm happy to help.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate your your presence with groups and things like that. You offer some really useful perspectives, and I love that you have been around since like basically the birth of the idea of the Lyme Disease Resource Center. Like its conception is something that you can recall, which is a really, really special thing.
Yeah, I had forgotten a couple of those steps until Maria was talking about it tonight. I mean, it's possible I didn't know a couple, but the MRC, I was like, oh yeah, I totally remember you doing that. Because the whole thing with the business plan, it's just was like, that's really, sophisticated, I guess, and I hadn't even been a client of Cancer Connection yet. So I wasn't really sure what their model was. And then in 2011, that became a reality. So yeah, it's a different kind of organization, but it was a good model to base it on, but I can see why it had to shift.
I think it was Betsy Niesner had given me some initial ideas, and I loved that they had the free holistic services, because that was one of the core programs I wanted to be able to offer.
Right. But one of the biggest differences between that organization and ours is a lot of people don't physically have cancer, or they don't get sick with the same way that those of us with Lyme do. So it's much harder for us to organize.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing, Marcy. Really appreciate your perspective and having been with us for the 10 years plus.
Yep. Maria, if you want me to send you that email for kicks and giggles, I will.
Oh, I'd love it. I'd love it. Please do. It was a long pregnancy before we birthed the center.
Okay. Anyone else like to jump in? Yeah, Mary Ann, you want
I was thinking one more thing I wanted to say and I didn't say was how important I think Lisa said her family members and how important it seems that LDRC also offers help to family members, because Lyme is a family affair if we're lucky and we have that support, or not just family, any kind of people that anyone we call family support is there. We don't say, oh, are you sick enough to get our help? Or it's there for people who need it. So I just love that. And I just love the memory of sitting in Maria's little tiny apartment. She's got a computer that's bigger than she is, and the bookcase, and it's such a sweet memory, and I'm so glad you kind of expanded that.
I had a huge desktop computer and all this equipment and the giant desk that took up about 3/4 of the living room.
At least it was bigger than both her and me. So
Wonderful. It's fun to hear these little background moments, like behind the scenes. And I also just want to thank you for mentioning that, family is also a really important part of who we support. Care partners, as we like to call them, are a vital part of this community, and people that also really need their own particular kind of support, because it can be so challenging to help somebody who is going through Lyme. It's a long haul for many folks, and it's really important to make sure the people around us are also getting support. Yeah. Anna Maria, did you want to jump in here?
Sure, I would love to, yeah. I'm, going to echo some of the things that have already been said. I think some things that just really impress me is like 10 years. It's amazing, right? Like we can all have a great idea on a weekend and then, you know, by next Friday, something's changed. So I just really have so much respect for your diligence, your persistence, and your, you know, you really continuing to have clarity of vision and make it happen. I've been party to, you know, numerous 501c3s over the years, and I'm going to say not all of them persist through the years, right? So I just loads of respect for that and appreciation to create this resource for people. And as a practitioner, I would say that when I began my work in complementary care, I had kind of my own mission statement, you know, which included the usual things of providing quality care to people that I worked with. But I also had this addendum about finding a way to reach working with veterans at some point, and finding a way to work with people who had chronic conditions. And so sort of that was a little bit outside of the box and of, you know, trying to pay the rent a little bit. And so as time went by, I did have an opportunity to work with the veterans up at the Leeds facility that were part of Soldier On. So I did that for a number of years. And then lo and behold, I too got Lyme. So that was a real undertaking. And then somehow I found out about your organization and became a volunteer. And it was that sense of being able to give back to a community in need, whatever that might look like, was just like such a gift to me to be able to, you know, find this wonderful organization who's offering so many good things. And, you know, I consistently decide to stay in my lane, right? Like I'm not going to be on the board, I'm clear, but it's really a real gift to me to be able to be a volunteer for this organization. And while COVID was certainly a surprise to all of us in all of its, you know, effects, I'm really actually quite excited about what this could mean for the growth of the organization and the being able to serve that larger community, reach more people, have this be, you know, however that develops. So I feel really hopeful and excited about that. And just a big congratulations to you and to the organization and all the people who have been supporting it through the years. So thank you.
Thank you so much for also being with us all this time and through COVID. I'm really grateful for the people who were able to continue as volunteers because it was such a difficult time. So thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, thanks, Anna Maria. And, you know, mentioning our broadened reach by being virtual at this point, we have people that are contacting us from California, Arizona, across New England, Florida, you know, like really across the country. We have people who are joining our support groups. We have people who are calling the center. And one of the big things that I have heard from a lot of people who are finding our support group is that they've reached out and looked around at resource lists for where support groups are happening, and so many groups are defunct. They're not happening anymore. And so there's a real need for what we are offering here, this level of support, both with our groups as well as peer counseling, the individual support. So I for one, am definitely excited to find more ways to be able to help people across the country.
And I also want to note that not only are clients finding us from across the country, but we also have doctors' offices contacting us and wanting to be in our database of resources. So, Marianne, adding in that extra, that there's a chain of places that we can share our information with. We love that. We love to reach out to as many different places, so that people know we're here. And just recently, we made sure we had brochures and an advertisement in the ILADS conference brochure, that just happened this past weekend. And hopefully those doctors will bring our information back to their offices and be able to refer clients to us.
Mhm. Some exciting times ahead, right, Maria? I'd like to see if there's anyone else who would like to share this evening.
Maybe unmute the telephone if anybody's interested in it who are calling in.
Yeah. And it's also really okay if you don't
It's okay
if
to
you
be
don't feel up for
quiet.
sharing. So at this point, I think we might be ready to close for the evening. But I just really want to thank all of you for showing up tonight, to help us just like have an opportunity to reflect on how far the Lyme Disease Resource Center has come in the past 10 years, and to spend a little bit of time dreaming about the future. And I think things are really looking up. I mean, the unfortunate piece of that is that Lyme disease is still a major issue for so many people. And it is an illness that really needs to be better addressed. And we certainly are trying to do our part in addressing this epidemic. Maria, I'd love to turn it over to you again if you have any kind of final words.
I'm so excited to see us growing. New people on the board. Allison is coming from out of state, and found out about us. I'm excited that we have new and diverse clients coming from all over the country. And I really see us connecting with not only the New England organizations, but going out beyond, as we expand our educational piece, as we relaunch our whole holistic practices. I can just see us growing. And I heard from people saying, "Oh, you've been very persistent," and people are amazed. But I've really put my heart to this, and there's a bit of selfishness in it, that it's something that I would have wanted when I first got sick. And I think it's very important to continue and grow at whatever pace that we can to help as many people as possible. So thank you for volunteering. Thank you for those of you who are clients. It takes a village.
Well said. Thank you everyone for showing up tonight. And please do keep your eye on our website, lymedrc.org, And we have some upcoming events with our practitioner presentation series. And again, if you can help us with reaching out to folks to encourage them to make a donation of any amount towards our fundraiser. And we will be trying to do some year-end fundraising. So please do help us get the word out to have us supported financially so that we can grow to the extent that we really want to. All right. So thank you again, Maria, for being a really visionary person when it comes to helping folks living with Lyme disease, tick-borne illnesses, and their care partners. This organization wouldn't be what it is. It wouldn't be without you. So we really appreciate you.
And Nellie, I'm so appreciative of all you do. You've kept us going right through COVID. You've been there, so supportive. Right now, I probably would be somewhere in a hospital bed if I didn't have you putting in the hours you do. So thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. All right, everyone. We wish you a good night and stay in touch. And we will let you know about all the exciting things coming down the road for the future.
Good night, everybody.